Come along with me as we make use of my dehydrator to make snacks for a 1,300-mile road trip with my 3 kids and our dog. Today we are starting with apple chips. I always core my apples because with the core in it, it just gets caught on the mandolin and I do not want to get cut. So my son is helping me to core the apples and get them ready. I don't like to peel them just because it adds an extra step. And I think that the peel actually makes them a little sweeter. So I cord all of them and then just start slicing. I like to just slice all of them at once and then lay them out on the tray. It just makes it easier. Again, my son was awake early this morning, and so he decided to help me, and then I got started with putting them out on the trays. I like to just make them as close as possible without overlapping them, utilize as much as I can. I knew I had probably too much for all 8 of my trays, but I wanted to make the most of it. And if not, once my girls woke up, they were more than happy to help me finish off the rest of the apples. I feel like whether it's dehydrating them or just having them as a snack, anytime you cut something up in a different shape than normal, my kids are all game for it. So I loaded them up as much as possible, even cut up a couple or broke them in half to make them fit. And then into my dehydrator they went, and they took about 14 hours simply because I had them a little thick and I wanted to make sure that they were crispy. I like more of an apple chip. I don't like them to be as chewy. So I did that, and then when they were done, they got loaded up into a Ziploc bag. These are not going to last long. I'm actually hiding them from my kids so that they will still be there for when we leave on our trip in 4 days. So I just put them in a Ziploc bag. And then on to pear chips. For the pears, I don't peel them or core them because it just takes too much and I feel like you don't get a lot of meat after that. So I just slice them away. And again, I like to do one step at a time. So I slice them all, put them off to the side, and then once they were all sliced, then I went back through and put them on the tray. I like to make both apples and pears just because they have a little bit of a different sweetness profile to them, and my kids don't mind it either. So I laid them out on the tray. I was able to make about 4 trays of the pears, and then I was able to get those into the dehydrator. These only took about 11 hours to make. They weren't as thick and they tend to go a little bit faster. I got those into the bag. I was able to make about half a gallon bag worth, and it will add a nice little change from the apple chips to get us through this long car ride. Once I was done with those and got those all bagged up, then I moved on to some fruit leather. I love apple leather, but my kids tend to get really bored of it. And so I wanted to kind of make it a little different. So I made some strawberry apple leather. I usually make my own applesauce, but I was lazy and had already been dehydrating for 2 days straight. So I was done. So I just bought some applesauce, and then I got some strawberries, cut them up, pureed them, and then just mixed them together. It makes it so you're not getting just one note. You get a little bit of apple, a little bit of strawberry, and it's so good. I try to get it as evenly as possible, and I try to get it not super thin so that way they turn into a nice leather. And they turned out perfectly. It is my favorite thing to pull the leather off of the dehydrator trays and off the silicone mats. It's just the most satisfying thing. So I got those all peeled off. And then for wrapping them up, I just put them on parchment paper. So I made a little station next to me, and I put down the parchment paper, put down the leather, and then once all of those were on, I was able to make about 5 of the leathers, crease over a piece, and then roll them all up. It is also another relaxing thing. I know that it can be a lot of work dehydrating and making stuff, but it is so soothing and relaxing. And I have learned and grown into making all of our snacks from scratch and from what we have simply because of all of our food allergies. Once I got those all done, I cut them up and then put them into a container. Again, I'm not too worried about properly getting all of these put away and moisture and all the things because they're not going to last more than the next 3 days. Hit the subscribe button to see what we make next.